Hi, this is Sweet June 2010. Beautiful day out here, Memorial Day weekend. How's everybody doing? Today I want to talk about um, personal responsibility. Um, I'm a firm believer in personal responsibility, taking personal responsibility for your actions, whatever it is that you're doing, or whatever it is that you do. You take personal responsibility for it. As an adult, as a mature adult, every mature adult should take personal responsibility for whatever it is that they do in life, for the choices that you choose to make in life. You take personal responsibility for those choices. I'm a firm believer in that. Um, I don't believe in blaming other people for your choices. Like if you make a bad choice, you blame other people for it. I don't believe in that. My son, prime example. I have a granddaughter. Now I didn't find out about my granddaughter until she was 2 years old because actually I found out about her on Facebook. Her mom sent me a message on Facebook and told me, I need you to talk to, Justin, because I can't keep doing this by myself, about getting the DNA. And I was like, Justin, get in here. And I said, what's going on with this? And he's like, well, she said the baby could have been mine, but I said, well, you better get it down there and get the DNA test done. Find out if this child is yours. If she's yours, then you need to man up and take responsibility. Because I raised my son, both of my sons, to accept personal responsibility. If you make a choice, whatever that choice is, you stand up and take responsibility for it. And I told him, well, man, it's time to man up. The DNA came back that he was the father. I said, well, man, it's time for you to man up and take responsibility. Because she's not the only one that laid there. You laid there as well. So I'm a firm believer in that. And he did. He manned up and he took responsibility. He's a good dad. So I'm a firm believer in that. If you, this theory of, it seemed to be a theory of, I don't know, it's because a lot of things are put on black women's shoulders these days. But it seems to be a theory of a lot of people that when a woman has a baby, it is solely her responsibility to take care of that baby. And it's not the man's responsibility. Well, what book did you read that in? Because last time I checked, it takes two people to make a baby. And some might argue, well, what if she has the baby and the man didn't want to be a father? Well, if you don't want to be a father, then you need to either do one or two things. Don't have sex with a woman you're not married to, and put a condom on. There's no excuse. There's simply no excuse. You know beforehand that you don't want to be a father. Then you need to take responsibility for your own body. And not only that, you can catch a fatal disease. You can catch AIDS. You have to protect yourself from a fatal disease that can kill you. Everybody needs to take responsibility for their own body. There is simply no excuse. And I'm tired of the blame game. If you lay there as much as the next person, same goes for a woman. If a woman lays with a man, gets pregnant, well, she can't put all the blame on the man. It's not all the man's fault. And that man, even if that man walks away from the situation, well, you can't put all the blame on him because you laid there just as well as he did. It was both of you guys' responsibility to take the necessary precautions. Now, if you lay there and you get the baby, then you got to woman up and you got to take responsibility, whether the man is there or not. Yeah, if the man is not there, it sucks that he's not there. But you got to woman up and you got to take responsibility. You know, it is what it is. And the same goes for a man. If you lay with a woman, you might not have planned on getting her pregnant, but you did. Well, you need to man up and take responsibility. This blame game doesn't work. Mature adults don't go around blaming people for their choices. Mature adults don't do that. Now, let's say you had a bad childhood. You know, let's say your parents drank and, you know, whatever, didn't give you the proper instruction or whatever the situation was. You got abused in some kind of way. And then you grow up and make some bad choices. But you keep blaming your parents for those bad choices. I don't agree with that. Because when you get to be a certain age, if you got a brain in your head, then you should know the difference between what's right and what's wrong. You can learn the difference between what's right and what's wrong. It's in the Bible. There's laws out here that tell you what's right and what's wrong. The laws tell you to not murder. The law tells you to not assault someone. The laws tell you to not steal. Even if you don't read the Bible, the laws tell you what's right and what's wrong. So see, if you go out here and you do something that you don't have no business doing, can't keep going back to your parents. Well, my parents, this, no. Because once you get to a certain age, then you should know the difference between right and wrong. That's no excuse. Can't keep blaming your parents for something for your choices, the choices that you keep making in your life. You know, I just don't believe in that. I believe in personal responsibility. If you commit a crime and you get caught, you get punished, well, you got to do the time for that crime. And it's nobody's fault but your own. You made the choice to do that crime. You know what the laws say. The laws say you should not steal. The laws say that you should not murder. The laws say that you shouldn't rape. The laws say that you shouldn't assault someone just because you're angry. If you choose to not follow those laws, then you have to suffer the consequences for doing that. Plain and simple. Everybody with half a brain can understand that. See, I don't believe in the blame game. I believe in taking personal responsibility. I'm a firm believer in that. Now, I might do a part 2 on this. I don't know how much time I have. I'm going to do a part 2 on this. Sweet June 2010.